Hello, my name is Oliver, and welcome to the first devlog of Climb of the Seasons. Since this is the first devlog, I'll start with a quick introduction on what the game is that I've been working on for a little while now. It is an endless runner made in the Godot engine where you control a rover going up an endless hill, where the elements and the dangerous weather each season of the year brings are the main obstacles, like lightning strikes, hail, and falling rocks. Oh, and there's also trees. As you continue playing, eventually you'll end with winter, and spring will come around and begin again. The difficulty will then increase for each year that you survive from that point. Now that the basic premise is out of the way, let's get to what is in the game so far. You control the rover by turning it with the arrow keys. The way this works is a bit more complicated than it might seem, so I'll try quickly explaining it. To get it to work like this, the background is actually moving. The rover itself is stationary, but it is still getting constant force applied to it in the forward direction. It just has this global Z-axis locked for it, so it can't actually move forward. I could make it so the rover was the only thing moving. This way I don't have to worry about any problems with floating point position as numbers get bigger and bigger in the coordinate system. So as the rover gets further and further away from 0, 0, 0, the world origin, the precision of the coordinate system goes down, meaning there's less decimals after the decimal point, which leads to some step-like movement from the rover side. So, to sum it up, the world moves backwards and the player can only move to the sides. And the other main thing I'm doing to make the game work is the whole season and year progression that I mentioned. This is handled by one object called the Season Manager. It's floating somewhere, acting as a kind of game manager. It has a timer for how much is left in the current season, and then it handles how time is distributed over an entire year, what year it is, if the player is still alive, and setting up and starting transition for each year and month. So yeah, basically it's an entire game manager that interacts with a bunch of small things. The main things are the level itself to make it look snowy during winter and summery during summer. The other thing is those aforementioned hazards like the falling rocks. To have events spawn at the appropriate times, and the appropriate events at the appropriate times of the year, the season manager is communicating with an event spawner each time a rock needs to roll down a hill, for example. Each season has its own event spawner, and each event spawner has its own list of events to make sure that it doesn't start hailing during the summer. Mostly that list of events is rocks right now, but more will come in the future. Recent addition to the events is the hail event, which will slow down the turning speed by a lot when the player is in the hail, and I'm currently working on how the lightning event should work. I'm pretty happy with the visuals of it, at least. As also mentioned before, the season manager manages how much time each season takes of the year. Each season starts up taking the same amount of time during the year. What then happens every year is the times of each month is reduced, except for winter. Winter just becomes longer and longer. And the probability of an event is also increased, so as you play through the years, you should notice more winter time and more events happening. And that is how the game is overall so far. As for what comes next, I plan on getting the lightning bolt finished, then some more general touch-ups and changes, and I need to think of more events to add to summer, winter and fall, since I want spring to be a moment of peace for the player. If you want to follow the development of this project and future projects, just hit the subscribe button and stay tuned to this channel. And that's it for me. Goodbye.